everybody. Welcome to another edition of Radio Gunk. We decided to do this kind of last minute, and I'm so glad the boys were able to join. And really what we're going to talk about tonight is how Howard is trying to use social media and being very, what's the word I'm
Current.
looking for? Johnny.
Current.
Relevant?
Relevant.
Relevant.
In order
Which is
to get
clickbait.
clickbait. Yes,
Yeah,
Howard is being
Click, perfect.
By the way, Ida, you rule. Shane, all of you. No, you don't. No,
Oh my God.
Anybody? I know.
Ida
Wow.
Greenbacks.
Ida
I
Greenbacks.
don't have to sell blood tonight.
Xavier paid dog shed and blood for PayPal membership money.
Yeah, I did.
Sure, he did.
Hey, you know what? Those server fires aren't cheap, my friend.
Radio Gaga, you rule.
Nice.
Doesn't even have to show a nip for OnlyFans money.
So,
Oh, look at that.
I know.
Wow.
At Comic-Con. What we decided to do tonight is talk about how Howard is trying to make statements and make statements that will get
Clickbait.
news. Clickbait. Howard the clickbaiter. That's exactly what this is. And he's so he's just doing things to kind of make everybody stand up and listen. And so he's gotten a lot of press in the last week, a lot about Aaron Rodgers, a lot about running for president against Trump, which I think is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Then we're going to touch a little bit on Emily Ratatouille. John, I did get your other text.
yeah, it's one from 2015, the one you tweeted about, I think, via Benjamin. It's that entire dialogue, and just a little blurb from the other day about Beth and that Dennis alerted me to, that it was a Sedan story about the yachting, the yacht whores. And
let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and how he's trying to, push his popularity by being anti-Aaron Rodgers. And that's kind of where we started. And then it just kind of went into him talking about Kyrie Irving and then Emily. And then at the end of this, I have a little tirade he did about Steve Jobs. And I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit and how
Isn't he
Robin
dead?
agreed with him.
yeah,
And
that's what it goes
him
after. Instead of arguing with tapes,
eschewing
it's dead
Western
people.
medicine and Robin agreeing with it. But in reality, she tried to get rid of that grapefruit with everything possible.
But the thing is, those Jobs went to the quack that Howard's seeing now. That's the best part.
Yeah. All right. Just so you know, Xavier, you weren't here last week, but Christina Brown has now
wasn't.
become an activist. And
Yes.
so anytime we say
Patron.
anything that might be even slightly, even slightly not PC, she will call it out. Just so you know.
So Santa won't talk about Frosty's gag reflex then.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Monique, really quick. Chris Delopoulos.
Real quick.
Can I tell you my Chris Delopoulos story?
Real quick.
Tell us. If you can write out like the Brett Favre. I think he's a kook too, right? So I just want to compare and contrast because he's Aaron Rodgers' mentor. So I just want, if you would, I'm not sure. I try to ignore him, but I know he's a kook too, and see if you could just give us the comparison. Thank you, sir.
What?
I have no idea.
Aaron Rodgers' mentor is Brett Favre, the quarterback. I know you're a huge, and I guess there's some kind of kook.
Wait, what? Isn't it Joe
QAnon?
Montana? Because he was a California guy. He grew up idolizing Joe Montana.
Right, but when Rodgers followed Brett Favre, he took him under his wing, and I don't know if there's some kind of simpatico or whatever.
Did he send him a dick pic?
I know that this was of Olivia Munn nudes.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to move on with the show now. So,
Choo choo.
so we're going to start with
10 minutes in.
well, what he's realized. I think what he's realized is now that he's so anti non-COVID vaxxed anything that anything he says about it is going to cause a stir or have people talk about it. Remind me later on, and anybody who doesn't know the Christina Brown story, I will tell the Christina Brown story for the 40th friggin' time. So we're starting with Kyrie Irving.
So is this 50-50 that I'm going to get the
Kyrie,
right one?
oh my God.
Okay.
Yes.
There's some people who are willing to walk away from millions of dollars and not get vaccinated. And I got to say, they're so stupid, they're putting their mouth where their money is. I got to tell you. It's pretty incredible. One of them is that basketball player.
Kyrie Irving.
He's my favorite dude who's like putting his money where his mouth is. You got to say, in terms of idiots, he's got to be the top idiot in the country right now. Guy's got a chance as a young man to make millions of dollars. All he's got to do is get vaccinated, but he doesn't want to get vaccinated. So
I've never heard a reason why. Did he have a reason?
He doesn't need a reason. It's just that he's stupid. You know,
Okay.
because this guy's got a history of being stupid. He's one of those guys who's a flat earther too. And you know what it is? He doesn't know anything.
Oh boy.
He just knows, well, I can't figure, his mind works in a very strange way. He's like, I can't figure out gravity. So therefore, it probably doesn't exist. And just because they tell me there's gravity doesn't mean there's gravity. Or he goes, all I know is I go to the beach and like I look out at the ocean and I see it's flat. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't give a fuck what they say. He's one of those guys. Here, I can prove it to you.
It's amazing with somebody with such a low IQ can comment on someone else. It really, truly is amazing. It really is amazing because remember, this is a hypochondriac. It's a hypochondriac Beal.
Germaphobe.
Fake germaphobe. Not even a real germaphobe. Fake germaphobe.
The guy who wears
Fake
a
OCD.
condom with his wife.
Well, that's Chris.
Yeah.
Who's almost
Ralph.
50. I can't imagine she can even attempt to get pregnant.
No, there's no way. There hasn't been bleeding. There hasn't been bleeding for like years there.
It's like
She's like a Barbie doll down there now.
It's like
no way.
It's like trying to rub it between two sheets of 100 sandpaper. I will.
So the article that came out when the Kyrie Irving thing came out was Howard Stern returned from his October vacation this week, 5 weeks after his summer-long no-work period. With unvaccinated Americans still on his mind, Stern still hates these cockroaches, including Kyrie Irving, deeply. For not agreeing with Stern's elite Zoom friends, Stern declared Irving, quote, the top idiot in the world. It's unclear whether Donald Trump remains eligible for the title, though Stern may have retired his former friend, now enemy, from contention. Irving's my favorite dude who's putting his money where his mouth is, Stern said of Kyrie Irving. In terms of idiots, he's got to be the top idiot in the country right now. Guy's got a chance as a young man to make millions of dollars. All he's got to do is get vaccinated. So where do we stand with Kyrie Irving right now?
When we heard that little clip, he's eye to eye with a woman who does Sunny Delight enemas to cure her fucking cancer. And so for him to all of a sudden be Dr. Chivago about what's going on with who's accepting of what medicine it boils down that he has no credibility at this point.
I remember Chivago, nice. Remember, this is a man that created a fake medical scare. I mean, for publicity. Let's
true.
really put that in perspective.
Don't forget the lump on Beth's fake breast as well.
That's just actually the texture of them. They're lumpy.
Yeah.
Monique,
Exactly, like cottage cheese. What were you saying, John?
This Kyrie Irving story is so old. They discuss things a month after it's been analyzed to death in the sports media. That says it all. This 82-day work schedule he's on. This show is like cold pizza or cold Chinese food.
Oh, it's cold
or
Chinese
something.
food.
It has been beat to death,
awful.
analyzed better with more passion. They played the Chris Russo clip there, and I breezed right through the Aaron Rodgers thing, and I just got what I needed to know. And if I listened to that, and I was a Martian Manhunter from the planet Mars, and I came down, who's a $100 million radio host? I would think Chris Russo,
Right.
the $100 million radio host.
Yeah.
Absolute fire-breathing passion and knowledge of the topic, and then this fucking marble-mouthed, chiclet teeth, hugging the microphone and just humming an over-enunciating, measured piece of shit with no take and no stance and no passion is getting the $100 million. It is a backward world we live in.
Oh, absolutely.
But it doesn't matter if it's that or you cannot do a current event show when you work 80 fucking days a year.
Him doing current events is like them. It's like trying to talk about Christmas at a family reunion in July.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but don't
I
you
mean,
remember there came a point where he stopped talking about current events, and we
Yeah,
could
to make everything else.
When he was all
Where's
pre-recorded.
the
Yeah,
news? Where's anything that's going on? Wasn't there like all sorts of BLM protests and all sorts of shit going on? And he never mentioned
that
it
doesn't
once.
sit with his friends.
That's right.
So here's the thing, though. He tried for a while to go to go evergreen, which is nevergreen in his world.
Nevergreen, exactly.
But that really fell flat because then no one noticed him because he was doing such milquetoast garbage that he couldn't get any notice anywhere. So now he's trying to pick and choose, topics that his friends will like, his alleged friends, and trying to make a somewhat of a name for himself. But the problem is that he literally has. Maybe 10,000 listeners at this point. I mean, let's be really honest.
Most of them are like from the free subscription when they bought the car.
Exactly.
And now he knows that if he talks about COVID and if he talks about people not getting vaccinated, and by the way, just everybody in the chat know, we said it right at the beginning, this is not a political discussion at all. This is just about how Howard discusses things so that he will stay relevant, and the way he can do it is with COVID.
But it's typical of him. He grabs onto one thing that's a dying, that doesn't have a long life because he's an idiot, and he grabs onto that, like the way he kept on in the Paul McCartney. He kept on, tearing your chance in two. He heard that line in the song. It was the last song he heard, and it kept on staying over and over again like a moron.
Right.
But it's the last. You remember, Mo's always said it. It's always his last conversation or the last thing you heard. That's
only
what
as good as his last conversation. Exactly.
That's it.
Or follow the Buckwall too. Follow the Hamptons. Follow the Buckwall.
Yep.
What's the ulterior motive in all this? Now we overuse the phrase "you want it both ways." He wants, but nobody's the more paradigm of wanting it both ways than Howard. So he wants it this, but when Alec Baldwin or Andrew Cuomo is the subject, we're just gonna either not mention it at all,
no, don't say anything.
Maybe 20-second blurb on it and get out. Where everybody's waiting. I mean, people are all weekend. Oh, what is he gonna say about Andrew Cuomo? He's going to say nothing about Andrew Cuomo or Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer, yeah.
To show how far we've come, that used to be called the Howard Stern vacation curse. In that, like Michael Jackson that's like the last time he was somewhat relevant, like 10 years ago.
Yep.
Oh, Howard's on vacation. We don't know what he's going to talk, what he has to say about Jackson dying or whatever. Like going back even further, it was always such a bummer when something happened on a Friday afternoon, and you knew that he was going to be off the next week, so you weren't going to get that satisfaction of hearing what the zinger Howard was going to come up with, and now it's like he's talking about the Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship like yesterday. It's like it's not no one gives a shit anymore.
He's a regular Adrian Wiganowski.
Exactly. So, and this is from the guy.
Don't you love the sports talking points he gets from his staff?
Oh,
so there's a staff. You wonder what the staff of 70 does, or he's reading it off. But it's a staff of 70. You wonder what they do. They try to turn him into a sports fan in 5 minutes.
You can't.
And he sounds it.
I'm sorry, but whoever's informing Wiggy about who his audience is, the same audience that is interested in Orlando Bloom's cock pictures isn't the same group of people that want to hear about Green Bay Packers.
Exactly.
Yeah, no kidding.
He is such a wannabe A-list elitist, and it's like it's over, man. The guy is just, I mean, he's so irrelevant at this point, and he's nothing, like they said, nothing sadder than a desperate old queen.
Desperate old queen.
Yeah, that's all he is at this point. Like,
how do you avoid the Cuomo stuff? It's insane.
Easy.
I'm just saying, but that's how ridiculous this show is. That's how much of a non-entity, self-serving with tear. It's just Cuomo was Billy Joel's best man at his fourth wedding.
Jesus Christ.
With Alexis. So you got to connect the Hamptons dots all the time.
Oh, always.
Yeah, they're all his neighbors. They're all his
neighbors.
Exactly. He can just duck and weave, and the whole thing. Alec shoots two people, and there's an unfortunate shooting.
Unfortunate. Exactly.
Unfortunate. Someone's dead.
It's so weird. His take on things like that is so weird. Even when Jada Pinkett Smith cheated on Will, and he said, Jada, why would you talk about this? You should be, or why would that guy talk about it? He should be happy that somebody like Jada Pinkett is giving you sex. Why would you?
Exactly.
Why would you? It's like, She
Mr.
cheated
Feminist.
on him.
Right?
Yeah, because in the old days they would have the news, and then a comedian would probably be sitting in, and it'd be mocking whatever that event was. No matter what it was, you would have somebody's funny take on it. And
Where are
that
the
is
gunshots,
gone.
Fred? Where are the gunshots?
Yeah, exactly.
For
Where are
Alice
the
Walton?
gunshots?
Well, Gilbert is doing a whole press thing right now. I just saw him. He was like on Rogan, and he's been on Artie. So it's just funny
Everywhere
that-
except the wig.
Oh, everywhere popular.
everywhere except the Stern Zoom show.
The Howard Rogan thing is fascinating because Rogan doesn't engage.
No, of
And
course not.
He's
'Cause he
taking the
knows.
high road with Howard, but I wish he would
No.
just unload on him. Just
Why?
show some of that testosterone. For some reason, he knows Rogan won't follow up on it. It's a weird.
No, he's
relationship.
trying to get Rogan too,
Oh.
because Rogan has 10 times, 20 times the listeners.
Maybe more.
I was-
100 times the listeners.
I was listening to Rogan like a couple of weeks ago, and they brought up the Pelican Brief, and they didn't. They're like, "Did you see that video of
Yeah.
Howard?" And it was so funny because you could tell like they were like trying to walk that line between not offending their idol and laughing their ass off.
Yeah, I thought he was too
Yeah.
namby-pamby about it.
Yeah,
he hit it
was
hard
like
enough.
they,
Doesn't he?
oh
It's
no,
too
no,
weird.
but the look on their face, it was like giggle.
Yeah.
You know, they like, oh.
X, do you remember who he was talking to? I saw.
He's a
that.
good
I
chuckle.
don't remember off the top of my head, but that definitely caught my attention. Like, oh,
Wait, no, here's a good chuckle that Radio Gaga just put up. Mo, do you know bring in more viewers on both platforms and your numbers are triple the numbers of Julie, Brent, and Bob Levy? You know, hey.
Shuli,
Sure, we make half the
Shuli still
money.
has a show?
I don't
Is
know.
Shuli still a thing?
I don't know.
I think she only had like 20 views for a video he posted like 3 days ago,
And
So he's got
50%
a-
of
and most of them are his mom just refreshing.
So he has to go down to the local. So he has to go down to the local the local bar near his house and start
Yeah,
doing
you-
stand up. That should go well.
you got to
bless
remember
him.
too. You got
God bless his soon to be pushing a wheelchair.
50% of Brent's viewers are a Yoda Quivers Stern refresh.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That whole crew, like,
That whole
loves to
thread.
fuck with him.
Have they moved on to the German Scheisse video portion of their careers yet? Because I'm not very hip on what's going on with that couple.
All right, so wait.
Uns and Scheisse again. Okay.
So let's go on to Aaron Rodgers and let's listen to that and hear what he has to say about it, and then we'll talk about how everybody reported on this, like it was the biggest news in the world. All right, go.
Oh, and 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan. I know the guy's a real good football player. That's why they put up with his bullshit. If I
Yeah, but
ran the
he's saying
NFL,
he's going to be a Hall of Famer, so yeah, you know that he's important to the franchise.
if I was if there was decency in this world, I would throw this guy out of the football league so fast. What he did to his fellow teammates, and bravo Terry Bradshaw for what you said, and everyone else who's got half a brain in this country. But they should throw him out of the league so fast. With the guy who crashed his car at 153 miles an hour, and some poor lady was walking her dog, and the dog and the lady burned up in his car.
Wow.
Because he hit him.
None of that is accurate.
And the
know.
last words out of her were just screams of pain from the fire. I mean,
drive
he's
with him
facing
and Beth.
40 years in jail. It should be a life sentence. I mean, he just essentially just killed someone with his car.
Like you
But
care.
he should be thrown out
Yeah,
of the
you
league,
don't.
which he was, I assume.
No.
And Aaron Rodgers, come on, dude. Really? Yeah, I have the antibodies. Now, first of all, I don't know where these guys get their information from. They refuse.
personal
at the press
weatherman.
conference, he said he got his information from.
Wait, can we stop to appreciate his cadence? He's got the
Yeah, no,
cadence
Jesus.
of
Thinking
a
same
young Rich Little. I mean, what the hell? Every
Did you get-
word is
and that's
like
Yep.
The
this.
news.
when I taped that, I took out all the pauses. Like
I
there's
believe-
all
Oh, there's
these, like,
massive
you know
pauses.
the way it
No.
works, John.
Yep.
I took
Yeah.
out like all these little
Stretch it
5-second
out.
pauses,
Yeah.
5-second pauses.
There are
5-second pauses.
times I think that the satellite drops out because there's
Well,
just
we did-
nothing. There's no sound.
We did that, Dennis. Every week in review, there'd be like a 6-second drop, and I'm like,
Christ.
"You still with us?"
Yeah.
But the-
Can we appreciate the fact that you want someone who's going to go to prison for 20 years to be thrown out of the NFL? Do you
Yeah.
think that might be a little redundant?
Yes, they-
Robin, I hear he's playing Nickelback, the
Nickelback.
Nickelback.
He tried to channel tough guy Howie
Yeah,
Brasco.
like-
Oh,
Oh,
Howie
Each
Brasco.
fucking guy. Each
and
fucking
the
guy.
fact the fact that he even mentions Terry Bradshaw is proof that
All right.
he's
Terry
even
Bradshaw. Wasn't the whole thing about Terry Bradshaw? You couldn't spell cat if you spotted him, the C and the A. I mean, Terry's not a Terry's not a Mensa.
Guys, it's Howard. I think he means Carrie Bradshaw.
Ever since, you know what, Terry.
Brilliant, John.
Ever since he did Smokey and the Bandit, that his career, just took a nosedive.
Well, wasn't it Cannonball Run?
No, it was Smokey. It was Smokey and the Bandit. Hey Joe, tackle that car.
But he was also in Cannonball Run too.
Oh, what? That's right. That's
With
right.
Mel Tillis.
It was him and the other guy that were drunk the whole time.
Yes.
Hey, all you millennials, I know you love Cannibal Run talk, but we'll get back there.
Captain Chaos and everything.
Oh, I love that guy.
Oh my god.
Great movie.
Peter DeLuise's father.
Oh my God. Okay, I have lost complete control of this show. Were we finished with that thread? Were we finished with that?
Do you remember the van ambulance that they had and the doctor that they got? I graduated from the University of Ragu.
I'll fix you with this.
And then D. Martin was the
Finger.
priest.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's continue.
There's more pain coming.
Joe Rogan. With all due respect, Joe Rogan's
Why
a
would
guy.
you do
respect.
Joe Rogan with a medical
Yeah, you got doctors who study in medical school. I don't know what has happened to this country. I don't know why he's wasting his time on football. He's such a great researcher. He should go into the medical field. Research.
He's going to have the greatest immunity. He's like super immune now.
I say the
Black.
next time this fuckhead gets injured on the field.
oh, that voice.
they should
Tiger
bring
Lily's
in
so
Joe
right.
Rogan to fix the
Oh,
back.
that
They
voice.
They should
You
have
can't
him
take-
treat him. He's the only doctor they should have treat.
When he has to go through that concussion protocol, send him to Joe.
Yeah. We'll fix him up. Give him some.
Oh, that
Ivermectin.
over-enunciated Shatner pausing and Chiclet.
What am I hearing?
I can't
here?
take
This is
it.
all crazy town.
So
All crazy town, man.
So okay, that's it. So Xavier and I were talking about this morning.
God.
He said, "You know
yes.
what? Do we know for a fact that Robin actually got vaccinated because she really is
Vaccinated.
against Western medicine, like more than most people."
Isn't
Just
she
a
like in the
little.
middle of cancer treatments too?
I don't know.
I mean, I think she is. I mean, I'm
She
still
is-
surprised she's with us. I mean, I'm shocked.
No joke. I would believe that she took a syringe of chicken blood before she took the
Oh, absolutely.
actual COVID.
Oh, the racism.
But I mean, she's chicken blood.
Fried chicken.
Thank you.
I tell you, this is COVID is nothing a green drink can't stop, right? I mean, we know that.
Yeah, exactly.
And a couple
Maybe
of enemas.
Dr. Ronnie. Dr. Ronnie will be
Ronnie.
around.
Well, that's why I'm going to come
Dr.
back to that
Ronnie.
with this Steve Jobs thing because
Oh, my God.
it was just amazing to me that he would ramble on about how Steve Jobs eschewed Western medicine and decided to drink carrot juice and eat grapes and shit like that
For cancer.
for cancer. And meanwhile, there she was doing almost the exact same thing.
Same thing.
I fully believe that she knew that she had that grapefruit
Oh,
size
absolutely.
thing in her gut for months before she decided to attempt to use doctors. And we're going to play something, and I'm going to read her opening to her book.
Yes.
Of education at the end because it's just ridiculous. All right, so what's
Maybe she thought it was full of gravy and was saving it for another day.
exactly. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next day. So apparently, everybody in the media went in on this Aaron Rodgers thing.
Absolutely.
Howard Stern sacks Aaron Rodgers over COVID, tells him to go to Joe Rogan next time he gets injured. SiriusXM host Howard Stern blitzed Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, accusing him of unsportsmanlike conduct and recommending banishment from the NFL. Blah, blah, blah. He's a fucking selfish prick, Stern said about Rodgers. Rodgers, who previously suggested he had been immunized, announced last week he tested positive for the highly contagious virus. According to the 37-year-old jock, he didn't mean that he received a medically tested vaccine, but he did say he consulted podcaster Joe Rogan, who is not a doctor, about alternative remedies. The next time this fuckhead gets injured on the field, they should bring him into Joe Rogan's to fix the bones, said Stern. So, okay, this was everywhere. This was in the news, the Times, the Post. I mean,
that is the Buckwald machine.
Really.
That is the Buckwald machine, man. They sent that out as fast as they humanly could.
If anybody in our audience, and by the way, G Kenna, that's my dog. If anybody goes onto Google, type in Howard Stern, and then just click on the news tab, there was like 20 articles from different, like everybody picked that story up. Everybody. And it's like they're feeding the troll.
You know why? Because Howard said something that they themselves would never have the balls to write about unless somebody else was saying it. That's the bottom line.
So brave.
They're so brave. They're so
Monique,
brave that they just quote somebody else.
As we said before, there were 60 noted national sports personalities with rants way better, way more passionate, way hipper, way on the ball, way more insider, and this thing gets picked up because you just have, like Dennis said, the Buckwald machine just pushing at these local that they've always had in their hip replacement pockets for years.
So, but then why is Howard the one that everybody picks up
because he has better people that push it out to the press. I mean, that's
a
just
good
the
question.
way it is.
Why
Monique,
him?
you remember I talked about Leslie Dart when he had the book? He had the horrible, we called it 16% with the 16 pages.
Yes.
Right, the Leslie Dart is the reason that book got any. So she was Woody Allen's. She's a super duper fucking high powered PR person, and she is put in place. They fucking installed her around the time that god awful book. By the way, the title was stolen from Jackie. You don't think even the title's stolen, like fucking McDowell's. And they had that book everywhere. And you're like, why is this awful book getting any kind of push? So we know how bad it is. We know it's a copy and paste of interviews. This is the same thing. He's got a really strong PR system in place from Buckwald to
guys,
Leslie
don't you
Dart.
think we're giving him a little too much credit?
Too much credit. I agree.
No,
hang on. Hear me out.
He's not doing anything.
Isn't pretty much everybody in radio dead at this point? That's actually worth listening to. Like literally over the last 5 years, everybody has died except for Howard. So it's like to say that his voice is the one everybody turns to. It's like the Onion once had a little picture with a little like a photo with the caption that said Special Olympics T-ball T pitches perfect game. It's kind of like that at this point.
They're putting it out there because they're saying something that they themselves would never opinionate on.
But these people are nobodies too.
It's low hanging fruit.
Who else are you going to turn to?
There's
not that many people left.
They're all part of it.
Monique, didn't Joe Scarborough spend a whole week eviscerating Rodgers to a much bigger audience? I guarantee you.
Yeah,
MSNBC gets 5 times the audience Howard does.
But he doesn't. They don't have the Buckwald machine with those people in the right places to fucking push out stories.
Yeah, but you know the way it works.
Dennis is right.
You know the way it works, though. All that needs to happen is and we've seen it happen before, where Uncle Larry will post something that's like a local nothing bullshit story, and then next thing you know, Daily Mail has it, and then next thing you know, USA Today has it. And they all pick up on everybody else's stuff. So all they need is just that little impetus of just little niglet of story. On a slow news week.
What is this, Fox News?
On a slow news week to run with. And that's what they do. I mean, you know that.
Monique, you had a really good point. I think they look at Howard as, like, his thing now, he's rich guy. It's not about him being on the radio. It's not about views. It's not about anything. He's looked upon as, like, super rich guy. Yeah. So it's almost like they're going to him because he's rich more so than anything else. I really think his money has usurped anything else about him now.
It's lazy journalism. It's people picking 100%. Up on a story that they would never comment on themselves if it wasn't, and especially like the cursing and all that stuff and him saying he's stupid. There's not a single reporter, not talking about radio personalities or people on air, there's not a single reporter out there that would say this fucking Aaron Rodgers is a stupid motherfucker and, he should be kicked off the team. It's easier when it's said by a Howard for them to repeat it. is what I'm saying.
But you know, a person that's actually a reputable
Right.
reporter, which is very far and few between at this point, would never do that because they just report a story. They don't opinionize it. No, seriously, that's the
I'm
truth.
just reading Christina Brown.
Slow your privilege, Monica.
Monica.
Wow.
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah, like that.
But then you're getting this overproduced, calculated, like I said, a cold Chinese food, cold pizza opinion, 2 weeks too late. Monique, we all listen to a lot of sports radio. I'm listening to sports radio sometimes, and these guys come on, and they will comment on a story that's going on at the time, the minute it hits. It goes in front of their desk, and they go with it, and they run with it, and they give you something. This motherfucker, you think he's ever going to comment on something that happens in real time?
No.
As that awful show, the 80 times it shows on. So you could have another 9/11, and he would ignore it for 3 weeks.
Agreed, but these people don't curse on their shows. They're to a larger audience. They're to a wider radio audience. You know, he says things that make people angry, and so I'm just saying that he's capitalizing on the anger he feels by feeding this out to the media so that
I don't think, Monique, I don't think he feels
pick
any
up on
anger.
it.
I think it's fake.
No,
I think it's fake.
I agree 100%, but this is what's keeping him relevant.
Yep.
Him doing this is what keeps him relevant. All right, let's play the next clip from the next morning after all these people started talking about it. Can you put that up?
Victory lap.
But yeah, my comments yesterday, I was like, Aaron Rodgers is a scumbag.
Surprise.
There's no, you know, it's a no-brainer, slam dunk. I don't care what side of the world you're on, whether you're a right winger, left winger, in the middle somewhere.
Winger.
You
Fucking
say
guy's
winger?
got teammates.
Left
He's
winger.
not telling. He's sort of with a wink saying he's vaccinated.
Well,
This fellow-
I'm immunized.
Yeah, rah, rah, rah.
Shut
And
up.
then listen,
Jesus Christ,
you know,
Robin.
these people have to go home to their families. They think he's immunized. They have to go home to their kids, their parents, and don't get me started.
Don't get me.
Well, no,
Don't get me started. I know you spent an hour on it.
Yeah.
You get $4,000 a minute. Get
Pause,
started.
babe,
That's
pause,
what you
babe.
get paid for. That you're making $4,000 a minute. No, get started. That's your job.
Get
That's your
started.
job. Get started. Let's hear it.
What
do
else
you
do you
got?
have to do?
You have nothing. Exactly right.
Walk upstairs
One of your
out of
80
his
shows.
bowling alley.
Get started.
Do
John.
the knocking trick.
Hey, John, do you think Howard even knows about the Urban Myers at the bar scandal that happened?
No, he has no idea that
It's so
happened. No
funny
idea.
because he's such a I'm holier than thou.
Well,
And,
that
you
would
know,
be that would be
Urban
something
liar.
he would defend in the late '90s.
No, he
well,
defended
because
now.
Why can't the
that's
guy
what
stay at a
his
bar and get a
life
lap
was.
dance? Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
To answer Tiger Lily's question about Kyrie Irving, yes, he was getting a lot of shit. I watched a ton of press with and the NBA media was kicking the shit out of him. He was getting eviscerated
Everybody,
at all sides.
everybody thinks he's an idiot. So it's
Yep,
like I don't
everybody
need
does.
Stern to tell
So-
me that.
No. Again, 2 years too late after the flat Earth stuff. We
Exactly.
already know what Kyrie Irving is.
Yeah, David the violinist says, I think Howard doesn't see getting to a story late as being a Johnny-come-lately. He wants to live with the delusion that he's breaking the story or the only one to have a comment in
Yeah.
real time. Yeah, you're 1,000% right, David.
That's perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Because
comment.
remember, this is the same man that said, I don't know why people get information from Twitter or online because I'm the place of information. There you go.
Exactly.
Well, I
You're
know, we
delusional.
know he doesn't see it. That we know how delusional he is.
He's
We don't
delusional as
understand
shit.
how anybody buys it. How
or that
anybody,
people are waiting
Yep.
to hear what he has to say.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
so
Those days are so long
1998. I mean,
Yep.
we don't do that anymore. We know that the news isn't even read anymore. You know, that's what shaves it down to a 3-hour show now. Let's listen to the rest of Aaron the next day. Go, babe.
Get into a position to throw that stupid football. They have to throw their bodies at people who are trying to get to him, and he expects them to take care of him.
Like
but
Howard
he won't
Stern.
do it.
Robin makes no
Everybody
fucking sense
So I was
whatsoever,
a
by the
player on
way.
that team. I
she's-
let a couple of
she's a
guys
moron.
throw.
Pause, pause,
Talk about
pause.
SEAL Team Sex.
She just broke down what it's like to be an offensive lineman.
Exactly. Thank you,
Well,
Robin.
Like,
she
oh my
is the
God.
size of one, so
They have to
yes.
they have to make physical contact, Howard.
When the ball is snapped, you hit the guy in front of you and keep him away from your quarterback.
Didn't the Jets give her a tryout? I mean, she played nose tackle, right?
she was
Oh my God.
she was the understudy for the Blind Side kid.
Is there anything else to that? Is there anything else to that clip?
Jesus Christ.
Let's find
Fritz
out.
Perry.
Let him attack him. I saw that press conference, you know, and then when he's very arrogant.
Jesus
I
Christ.
think he's so smart. He's like, It goes under the category
It
of
is
people
toxic.
who think they're smarter than doctors. And, doctors are the top echelon in our country. I'm talking
Well, how
academics
smart
now.
could you be? You didn't even figure this out on your own. You called Joe Rogan.
Says a woman that does garlic enemas.
JP
I
says an
like
older
that comment.
local radio host just got fired where I live in Vermont because he made a heinous joke about that honeymoon murder case. His general manager said he was just listening and almost drove off the road. So
You see, JP, it doesn't matter. Howard can't get fired. He doesn't have
Nope.
that makes it even worse how boring and hitty. He has no accountability. He's
No
a silent
accountability.
party. You can't fire him for anything. So that's even more heinous that his show could be this boring and
Robin
this spineless.
I mean,
Robin Sapp. Oh my God, Gary Potter.
She's about as nice as him too.
exactly. Okay, so he was very excited about himself the next day, and he was
Yes, he
very
was.
excited about the fact that he got some press about Aaron Rodgers. Obviously,
And I
it
think
was all
Ralph
over the
was.
place.
I think Ralph was over the night before too. So
Yeah, I think they were both doing a circle jerk whilst they were like listening to Howard talk about this.
he was like, Robin, if this continues, those earthworms can go to hell. I'm not picking another one of those motherfuckers up.
Exactly. So then the next day, or later on, maybe it was, I guess, when everybody started to report back to him that that the news was really going crazy about it, comes out with this ridiculousness to just jump on top of his Aaron Rodgers thing. Go.
It goes under the category of people who think they're smarter than doctors. And, doctors are the top echelon in our country. I'm talking
Well, how
academics
smart
now.
could
it's
you
the next
be?
one.
You didn't
Sorry.
even figure this out on your own. You called Joe Rogan.
I saw this morning. I woke up, the Daily Mail front page, the TMZ. My comments about Aaron Rodgers were like big news. That I think I'm going to run for president. I think I'm
I
running
know
the
they keep
country.
quoting you about everything.
I know. I'm like, who the fuck am I? I just said, hey.
If Trump decides to run again, you have to run against him. That's
I know.
my plan.
I'll beat his ass.
Do they know that? Did they not know they did this bit already with the governor thing?
Yeah.
Howard's
they
going for
they
governor.
did. Well,
Got to
Howard's
maybe-
divulge
going
your
for governor.
finances, Howard.
Maybe,
You gotta get your
maybe he
address
could have.
out.
Maybe he could do election fraud. That way too.
No, he's gonna like next week we have a guy who overdosed on crack, Robin. We're gonna be talking to him on the
Well,
phone.
and you know what, he couldn't even get on a real ticket, as we remember. I mean, he had
That's
run
true.
on the independent ticket because
No,
he didn't
I
get
thought
enough
he was
votes.
on. He was on. I thought he was on
Libertarian.
Libertarian. Do you know why he dropped out?
Independent.
He
Yeah,
dropped out
remember,
because
he rented
he
a
actually
house in Mineola. He has the wrong
Fraud.
address.
he dropped out because you have to produce your taxes and
No, that's not why.
Actually, it's
No.
worse than that. All that
was
is
it?
you gotta check a box that says over $150,000.
Yeah, so-
he
Oh,
had
he
to give
refused
his,
to do that.
he had to give he had forged a fake address. So he was
Right.
telling that he lived in some like ranch in Mineola, and that's
one of Jackie's houses.
that's close to Bayville actually.
It's
That's pretty good.
but just funny that like he doesn't realize that that's a played out bit already. But anyway, here we go.
But
Yes,
you
but
I'm
that's
sorry.
what's going to have to happen.
I
We can't leave it to the Democrats.
No, I told Beth. I said I think I'm going to have to do my civic duty and run for president against
You
Trump.
should say,
because
honey, get ready to be first lady.
I would just sit there and debate and play that clip of him trying to fix the election over and over again. There's no way I'd lose. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, you
Blackface,
really got
hello?
me thinking.
Stop.
And I was shocked.
Okay, so then, of course, after that little comment,
Christ.
again, everywhere, Fox News, everything, Howard Stern suggests he should run for president in 2024, claims he would beat Trump's ass. Longtime radio personality Howard Stern claimed on his Tuesday show that he would beat former President Trump's ass if he ran against him for president in 2024. While discussing the media coverage of his criticism of Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers over his deceit about coronavirus vaccination status, Stern suddenly declared that he should run for president. And so they just put a whole bunch of like little Twitter things. I saw this morning, I woke up, Daily Mail, TMZ, everybody had my comments. Aaron Rodgers was big news because of him, basically.
Because of him, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I was just
exactly.
listening to old audio. This motherfucker couldn't handle being on the board on his building in the Millennium Towers. You think he's going to even you think it was fun watching Trump dodge his tax returns? Watch Howard. How entertaining
God,
would
yes.
Actually, guys, it would be pretty awesome if he was elected, and then they had to cut to him at the Oval Office, and it's just like a Vizio 50-inch screen there. And he's like, a feed from the Hamptons.
props for the Vizio reference.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a Costco.
Costco buy. Totally.
Love it.
So that was his next big thing, and so that then became the big news of the day, and
What a slow fucking news week.
fucking
Obviously, they're ignoring everything else.
Yeah.
He realizes though,
All
I
the
think
bad news.
this is why he does it though now. I don't think he has a belief that is
And-
clearer than who he talks to that day. And a lot of it's got to be like the Jimmy Kimmels of the world and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Tell Monique, we say it all the time. There's nothing more important than forget about it, fans. He's not looking at you. They don't want to know. You can completely insulate. He gets one text from George Clooney, Kimmel, or Stephanopoulos. That usurps 400,000 people writing him hate stuff.
Clooney is not texting him. It's Jimmy Kimmel sending him shit.
Clooney's not texting him.
Clooney, please.
I think he might have his number down.
Yeah.
They might have
lost
his
his
number,
number.
but they're not
He lost
chatting
it.
I hope
politics.
you're right, but
He
There's
lost
no
that
way they're
number.
talking politics. If anything, he's talking. Here's who I've got on my list of people that Howard talks to: Jimmy Kimmel, maybe Jerry Seinfeld's
Stephanopoulos.
wife talks to Beth,
yeah, all the time.
George Stephanopoulos, and maybe his asshole wife talks to Beth.
Oh,
And
Howie
then
Wentworth.
we have that gay couple who are both in
Oh,
in
yes,
finance.
Steve. Yes.
The ones
Okay.
that run the shit for him.
Exactly.
Fallon,
And-
kinda.
Exactly. And then maybe like one or two other people. But I think that's pretty much
Fallon.
who's in his
Well, not anymore.
No,
No, not anymore.
Do you think that anytime that Robin calls Howard, it shows up as scam likely?
Exactly.
No, all Howard does is just she doesn't have the ability to call him directly. I guarantee that she does not have the ability to call him directly.
He says all the time that he texts her and she's the one who never gets back to
Bullshit.
him.
He's full shit.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to do it on one of those like 2003 Nokias.
exactly.
She's still trying to figure out how to get that snake game off of the screen.
She still has AOL, so she has like 50,000
Wow.
like unread emails. That's the way she works.
Absolutely.
I firmly believe that's the whole reason that he ever started with getting things done, because he also was on AOL. And the way people who are on AOL look at their phone. I mean, let's be honest. Other than some people won't mention their names, arm at AOL.com. Who look at their phones and they see that they have like 40, 50, 60,000 email messages. And I think that at some point he just wanted to get rid of those. And that's why he went to them. And the way he calls the boss of every company when he wants to learn guitar, he calls Robert Plant or whatever. Like that's the way he works. And so
It's so funny to watch these
The head of Peloton.
geriatric mother effers trying to be relevant and hip. It's like your grandmother's telling you that she got herself on the Facebook and she wants to friend you.
it's like my dad used to say, "Are you on that My Face?"
on the my
It's like, "Oh,
face.
you're so cute, My Face."
Howard, I got a Western Union request from John.
She tried to make us believe that she got that money back. She's still full of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're going to move on a little bit because, our shows can go on and on and on and on. And we're going to go to Emily Ratatouille. Wait,
You want to go to that stuff? We still have about a
AOL,
third.
breeding ground for white supremacy. Christina Brown, activist.
Monique, do you think down the road we should do? And we've been teasing this, a Rogan v. Howard show where we try to trace back. I have tons of stuff tracing back to what happened with them, and
I can't even get through Eric the Midget at this point.
I know. but
Yeah,
it's
sure,
something
we
that-
can do it. Sure.
That's going to be
Sure.
Eric the Midget.
I have
That's going to make
mapped out.
Eric the Midget thing's going to make Roots look short.
Eric the Midget is going to be our war and peace. I swear to God.
When you hear Rogan namby-pamby around Howard stuff, when he's just getting told by every one of his comedians who aren't allowed on Howard's show, but they do Rogan's show and they get 7 million views on Rogan's, and Howard won't give you. So Rogan's oddly very, very passive when it comes, and he should be eviscerated because he has nothing to gain by being on his good side. But that's just one element of it. I do want to do a show with pitting those two against each other.
No, I love it, and the funny thing is about it that Rogan won't give him the time of day. He won't.
No, absolutely not.
He'll snicker about him. He'll chuckle about it, and Howard's the same way though too. Howard really won't give Rogan the time of day either. They kind of have this
weird bad
truce.
chess game.
Yes, this weird truce.
Lame truce, right?
Yeah, that they won't do anything. He has Emily Ratatouille on, and I really want to talk about this a little bit. He started to preface it a little bit last week or maybe the week before about how he was reading this book and it was so good, and about what models go through in the modeling industry, and how Emily Ratatouille was sexualized from a very young age, and blah 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 blah. But he is so responsible for the sexualization of her.
Yep.
And I sent a tweet about it. It was like, did anybody play his discussion with Robin Thicke when he came in about what a body on that one?
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. So then John, kind of last minute, sent me this clip. I'm hoping we can hear it. So I'm going to go to that really quickly.
Like, I was reading this article about how Emily Ratajkowski, who's the girl from the Blurred Lines video,
hey,
is upset that people still bring up the fact that she was naked in the Blurred Line videos, and she's so over it. I'm like, you dummy.
She better go take one of those Tony Robbins courses.
Yeah.
You listening,
she better
Emily?
Go fly around in the helicopter and talk to
Gotta
Tony
send it to her.
Robbins.
I'm gonna upload it. And
Set her ass
Embrace
straight.
it.
She's such a talentless woman. I mean, just shut up. Yeah, I'll read it to you. You'll have a good laugh. Emily Ratajkowski. I hope she goes up in that helicopter with Tony Robbins for an inspirational speech, and he has her topless. She should embrace it and change her last name to Blurred Lines, like Emily Blurred Lines.
Yeah, her whole name should be Blurred Lines.
Oh,
Emily
How much do we hate her?
Ratajkowski.
Look at you wrestling with it.
Well, it's Ratajkowski.
Oh.
Emily Ratajkowski. This girl is like a super good-looking girl with great natural tits, and she just thinks her shit does not stink. She's actually
Yeah,
got
but let's
issues.
just talk to
gave
her
Beth
about
a
how much we
more
feel about.
She's not used to not getting her way. Emily Ratajkowski rose to fame for flaunting her body in Robin Thicke's video, Blurred Lines. However, in a recent interview with InStyle UK, the We Are Your Friend star says that she's pretty much over both of those things. She's over it. When asked about posing naked, Ratajkowski claims that she doesn't understand the big deal. Quote, "It's weird to me that the reaction to a woman's naked body is so controversial in our culture," she told him.
Oh, please, you shut the fuck up too, Emily. Really?
Well, she's a special.
Who's more repulsive in that, right? Him or her?
It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
The narcissism is off the charts. I mean, seriously.
For both of them, honestly. If you listen to
literally
that interview with her. So wait, okay, so the best part about the whole interview was prior to the interview. And he's talking to Robin about having read the book and how he spoke to Beth about it and how
They're
she
on all
felt about
shows.
the
I
book
mean,
as
is
well.
it exhausting?
Well, no, you got to back it up, babe.
It's
gotta
very
back it up.
gratifying, to be honest, but it is a little
Xavier, got to
exhausting.
back it up.
Okay.
Listen to that vocal fry.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna
it's
get to that.
painful.
So where am I?
Yeah, exactly where you were, babe. Right there.
Right there?
They're in order.
Okay.
Tiger Lily compared to Beth's scary talents, huh?
All right, just listen to this, though. This is the best part.
Oh, it's just so painful.
Go for it.
This morning I woke up, the Daily Mail.
No.
Almost there.
Hang on. You can play Jeopardy music right now.
Fucked up things. I said it's almost like you could have written this book. And,
Oh, you
I
just
think
blew the
it's an
whole
important
key
book. I actually
line.
do.
Come on, go back.
I'm on an Apple product. Sorry.
Yeah, we see
Oh,
that.
blame Apple.
We could get that so they go off on Apple all the time.
Yeah. Let's
You
see
got-
what happens.
Beth's bolt on old Frankentits, vigorous
This
swine
one
too
happened on
close,
Windows.
close to the sun.
Okay, that's the last bit of that. So here.
Actors. And, you know,
Now we have
doctors
run
are
for
the top
president.
echelon in our country. I'm talking
Well, how
academics
smart
now.
could you
We're-
be?
we're-
You didn't
We're
even
just
figure
gonna
I feel like I'm
run
in a
through it.
vortex.
How's that?
Call Joe Rogan.
No.
All right.
I
Here you
saw
go.
this morning. I
No,
woke
now
up,
we got
the
run for
Daily
president.
Mail from his ass.
Is echelon
You got to read this book.
STS.
This one
President
happened
gets
if Bon
bumped.
Jovi
Honey,
was
get
here.
ready to
That's
be
right.
first lady.
All right. Okay,
I would
just
just
let
sit there
it
and
play.
debate,
Yeah,
play that
just
fucking
let it
clip
play.
of him
Let it
fucking
play.
trying to
Fuck it.
fix the election over
Fuck
and
it.
over again. There's no way I'd lose. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, you really got me thinking. And I was shocked. I went down. I said to my wife, you got to read this book because she brings up a lot of the things. My wife was in the modeling industry, and she really encountered some really fucked up things. I said, it's
Yeah.
almost like you could have written this book. And I think it's an important book. I actually do.
It's an important book.
Emily,
It's an
nice to
important
meet
book.
you.
Okay,
Hey,
yeah, now you can pause.
Hey.
Now you
Thank
can
you.
How's
pause.
it going? I see it.
Jesus.
Wow.
Savior.
An important book from a person that just a few years ago he was basically saying, "Why are you famous? You're just pretty. You know, and you should change your name to Blurred Lines."
Some,
Because- yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that one. Someone already wrote one
Beth-
fish,
Beth
two
wrote it.
fish, red fish, green fish.
Beth should have wrote that book. No, it should.
Yeah.
Beth should be like how to make the most money in dinar. I mean,
Ida Greenfield, how do you interview her with a straight face? Because when you have that much plastic surgery, Ida, there's never a straight face, and he doesn't. He does not.
She's like a modern
when-
art masterpiece.
You're a sociopath. Sociopaths don't have any compunction or shame or guilt. He doesn't
No.
see it.
no, he doesn't.
Xavier, are you at the beginning of the Emily intro?
I believe so.
Okay, so let's just play a little bit of Emily because I didn't go through the whole thing of her.
Just tease the tits.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I mean, you're promoting the book. You're doing a good job.
Yeah,
You're
you-
out
you
there
can
on all
back
the
up just a
shows. I mean, is it exhausting?
You know, it's kind of gratifying to be honest, but it is a little exhausting. But I had
It's
some wine last
exhausting.
night and coffee this morning. I'm feeling pretty good.
What are you doing? You staying in a hotel in New York?
We all
No,
know
I
she
live
lives there,
here.
you fucking
No, I
moron.
built a
in
house.
New York. I thought you were L.A. Well, you were raised in L.A., right? Out in California.
In
No.
in San Diego in California.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right. She's
Wikipedia
San
can't.
San Diego representing.
Part of the country, San Diego. Really is.
How do you know?
It is. It's-
When have you
yeah,
ever
it
been
is.
there?
It's so
Never.
beautiful.
Never.
It's crazy.
Deborah's in San Francisco.
I
We
grew
know
up
he's
in
never been there.
A little beach town
Grandpa.
in San Diego.
All right, pause it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's never been to San Diego as far as I
No.
can recall, number one.
No.
Number two, this is probably the first time a girl that he has claimed is like the hottest fucking thing on Daily Mail has, well, she wasn't there in person, obviously, but that he didn't say, oh, look at you, turn around for me, sweetie. Let me see
Yeah.
those tits and ass. Let me see what you got working there.
What a piece of
Exactly.
Exactly.
Look at you in that titty dress, huh?
DM
the
Sal and
hottest
Richard.
girl we've had
have him-
up here.
DM Sal and Richard and have him barge in about an hour and 15 and sexually harass her out of the studio crying like Erica Durance.
Oh,
Exactly. Or ask her if she would go on the Sibian.
yeah.
Gunga Din says this interview shows how much the show has changed. How he would ask his female guests back in the day if they're shaven or not, and what he would do to them in bed. Now he's all of a sudden exactly a defender of women. That's
A defender
exactly
of women.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Only because he wanted her on. And, you know,
why?
The most boring interview, I swear to God, I have ever
Okay,
heard.
can we default to the fact that she is not an A-lister or two B-listers? Back to the Pelican Brief motto. Like, why
Yeah.
is she even on the show?
Well, that
honestly?
defaults to who is the show for, right?
It's for
These
him.
guests sometimes
No,
it's
it's
for
really-
him. It's for him and Beth.
I'll tell
Dilly
you why
Dally.
she's on the show.
They're Dennis. You know, they're on Instagram, him and Beth, and they're reading Us magazine and they just
No.
the pettiest, vapid shit, and she falls right into that sort of
Because
Kardashian line.
she has how many followers on Twitter?
Oh,
That is why she has
50
18 million, I think.
yeah.
That's why she's on.
Hey,
Literally
hey.
the only reason she's on. Hey. Their combined IQs don't reach freezing.
He went on to call Blurred Lines a masterpiece in rock and roll.
Yes, he did.
Rock and roll.
But wait, the best part of the interview, literally the best part, he went to her. Didn't you realize that it was part of a Marvin Gaye song?
Yeah,
No, that
exactly.
bitch has no idea who Marvin Gaye is. She has no idea that the song was about. She
It's
was
literally
just
the
here
same
getting
song.
paid.
I don't think she
But
knows who
she
Howard
doesn't
is.
know.
I don't think she knows who Howard is. I think she couldn't have been less engaged or during that interview. He was trying to talk about him. She's doing a move where he talks about himself and is related. He's in the closet, so he's trying to relate to her. The gay boy is trying to relate everything he does, she does, and she couldn't have been more unengaged to everything he tried.
It's like talking to her father, who's like a little bit of a pervert. Honestly,
I think his dad's younger than. I think his dad's probably 10 years younger, Monique, at this point.
Who, Emily Ratajkowski's?
Yeah, I think Emily's like a little bit older than Ashley at this point. It's so crazy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that's really super creepy.
We're getting the generations just the show becomes more and more antiquated and obsolete, and we're never going to get more people. He's just going to never going to get more.
It's like it literally is like talking to her grandfather. Oh my god!
Oh my god, you're so right. She was born in 1991. She's 30 years old. She just turned 30.
Essentially 2 years older than Ashley.
She could be his granddaughter.
Essentially,
literally.
This is now it's turned into like, remember we used to watch Larry King on CNN?
Yep.
And he would try to relate to like a young like Brooke Shields or whatever the hell he would have on in the 80s. And like, yeah, Brooke, I met Sandy Koufax back in 53. Have you ever met Sandy Koufax?
Larry King, Crowbar, and Dodgers references.
Exactly.
Nice.
But you're absolutely right. At this point, it is just some young broad talking to great grandpa. It's like, and she's just trying to be polite about it.
Right. But you know what, though, X? At least Larry King took phone calls for his guests. Right? So you might get something hard-hitting from a phone call. He ain't doing that. He hasn't taken a phone call for a guest in
Riverside, you're on the air.
So here's what she looked like while he was talking to her. And she was trying her hardest to not look like anything
pretty.
Special.
And she did a good job.
Yeah.
She really did a good job. She does not look like anything special there. Now, that construction worker in the Carolinas.
Is she like the last person still wearing clothes from the Kathy Lee Gifford collection from Walmart?
Maybe that's from the Ames catalog that Beefus was in.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about this for a second. 10,659 views for Howard Stern.
Look at his fingers.
That's it?
Here's
His
my
fingers.
video analytics of it. Here's 10,700 views, 14 comments. That's it.
Wow, that's sad.
It's a Chris Wilding refresh, too.
His fingers extend into his wrists. Look at that.
Oh, no, Wigga Moore. Full
look
Wigga
at the
Moore.
spacing thing. It's literally like, what the hell's going on there?
Look at those hands.
It looks like it looks like that Far Side one where the kid playing basketball and he's like, "You keep your hand in his face."
So those hands haven't done any manual labor ever in their life.
Oh my god, they're like
wearing a glove, like a latex glove.
It looks like two pointy veals.
Yes.
It's been.
Okay, can we look at this though?
Nikola
Look at this.
Jokic defensive stance.
Stern Channel, 875 million views. And if any of you know from that horrible thing that happened at Astro World in Houston the other day, that moron who is the baby daddy for Kylie Kardashian Jenner, whatever's baby,
Scott Travis or Travis Scott or something like that.
Has one video that has almost 1 billion views. His entire channel has 875 million views in total.
It's all
been there like
tune.
15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you dead.
Look at that wig. Wait. Also, let's take a look at that wig. Let's really soak that wig in. That is really. It's like he woke up in the dark and put it on.
It's like the scarf and wig have become one at this point. And you kind of turn it off.
It's like if Mel Brooks was doing a Spaceballs 2 and it was like for Dark Helmet it'd be Dark Wig.
Dark Wig.
Like that with that exaggerated wig. It's like if a hippopotamus had pubic hair.
I mean, it's like it is literally disheveled. I mean, completely disheveled. It is everywhere and anywhere. And
it's like
he's trying to look his best for the hottest girl they've ever had up in there.
It's like wig by
that
numbers.
thing's crooked. I swear to God, it's on crooked.
I just can't get over the fact that he's only had 875 million views in total for his
total.
whole channel.
It's all.
Oh, that's like his entire channel.
Yes.
Oh, everything, yeah.
What's the name of the guy who I was just talking about?
Some guy that
is amazing. Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, I believe. Dude, there are kids reviewing Barbies with like three times that.
I know. Playing NBA 2K21 will have 15 times the view of a Robert Downey Jr. interview he did. It's and if we're going by that in this day and age, in this of analytics,
that's relevance,
and right, and this generation goes by all clicks.
Holy shit!
How are you booking people off?
That is insane.
You have to submit this.
That's 1 billion views.
Okay, I want you to see.
Yeah.
Here, look at this. Look at Travis Scott.
But look at Sims.
5.31 billion views for the channel. This video alone
In 3 years.
has
In 3
more
years.
than Howard
In the totality of his existence.
totality.
He has 15 million subscribers. Howard has 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 million. Like,
Yeah.
Wow. And who is this guy? Who's Travis Scott? I don't even know
He
who
had like
he
a
is.
hamburger at McDonald's. That's all I know.
Yeah, he had a hamburger. At
Everything is
McDonald's.
auto-tuned.
We're not going to play it because
how
we'll
do you
get in
think they
trouble.
skate
but-
around these horrible? I haven't seen statistics this horrible
Christina
since
Brown?
How do they pitch this to the PR people? Because you can't fudge these stats.
No, this is reality.
They're getting
That's
reality.
Travis
He
Scott.
wants to be insulated, and he wants to pretend. He doesn't know his ratings. He doesn't know his listenership. As Sabian has told to Monique several times,
Wait.
at its height was only 600,000, and that's the peak of Sirius. How do you get around the PR people trying to book guests on this? And this is all you got. You're better off going on like Xavier, like the Hot Wings show.
To leads 99. Guarantee. What does the Fox say? Has more views. Guaranteed. I guaranteed it's bigger.
Elephant goes to. Cow goes mew.
So what's
Oh,
next
right.
on our clips? Because I
Remember
really want to
most
go into a
boringest,
tirade.
Monique? Remember that thing I found, that the
Yes.
wrap-up show? Yeah.
Okay.
What does
Do you
the
have-
fox say?
I got to look for the link. It's not. I don't have it up for
Did we
3
just-
weeks.
yeah.
God forbid.
Steve Jobs. He's a
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Steve Jobs. And I want to talk about Steve Jobs in relationship to how Robin kind of relates to this. So for some bizarre reason, he went on a Steve Jobs tirade. I don't know why. I don't know what brought him to it. I don't know what he may have been watching, but he decided that he was going to talk about Steve Jobs not liking Western medicine and instead deciding to drink carrot juice and eat grapes as a cure for his cancer. But nobody thinks to mention Robin's weirdo thoughts on this entire subject.
It's so freaking weird. It's like I had a Cape Buffalo rub its testicles on my face. Steve Jobs a weirdo.
I wouldn't mention the song.
I had an entire carafe of Mr. Coffee put up my ass. But Steve Jobs is wacky.
Yeah.
Mr. Coffee. Nice 1985 reference. There.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nescafe reference.
Don't move.
Oh,
Nescafe. Great.
What does
Lava.
most Mike say?
Crackle, crackle, crackle.
The
What does
millennials
most
love.
Mike say?
The millennials love Cannonball Run references.
You know what's
and
sad? We
Mr.
just probably
Coffee.
got a copyright strike because of that.
Yeah, I hate you. Just so you know. I do. I hate you. I hate you, Xavier. I hate you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Steve Jobs, and then we'll come back to Robin. So go ahead, go for it. Can you play it? Is that possible?
Yes, it is.
Shall I?
Hang on, I'm still kind of stewing in my own success.
I sent you the
That
link,
guy. When it
Monique. in
comes
case
to
you-
computers and everything, we know he's the Mozart of computers.
Huh?
But this guy, Steve Jobs, got so lucky. He went for a scan. He had kidney stones. So he goes for a scan. Listen to this. To the doctor. They do a full body workup and they go, holy shit, we just got lucky. When we scanned you for the kidney stones, guess what? We found the beginnings of some cancer cells in your pancreas. And pancreatic cancer is the most aggressive bile cancer, but you just got lucky because they never can diagnose it early enough. Steve Jobs got diagnosed early enough. They said, listen, we're going to operate on you and we can save your life. He goes, dude, I know better than doctors. I'm a very smart guy. It's the Trump move. I'm an eccentric genius or whatever the fuck he says.
I'm a stable genius.
I'm a stable genius. I invented computers and everything, so I know better than everyone. Okay.
Prodigy.
So he goes home, and what does he do? He gets on some cockamamie internet like the fucking morons like Aaron Rodgers.
And
Gets on
you,
the
Robin.
internet. He finds out I'm going
Yes.
to drink carrot juice. I'm going to drink so much fucking carrot juice. Because what's healthier than carrots? Look at fucking Bugs Bunny. He's a talking rabbit. What is the talking rabbit? Talking rabbit.
You think that Steve Jobs? You think that Steve Jobs actually said that to himself? You know what? I'm
Yeah,
going
Bugs
to
Bunny.
drink lots of carrot juice because Bugs Bunny
Bugs Bunny did. Yeah, Bugs Bunny.
did it.
Steve Jobs went home and said, "I'm gonna invent a product that you can watch porn from a product that you put in your pocket."
Well, Steve Jobs sounds an awful lot like Mike Trainer.
Exactly. That's what
Listen,
Steve Jobs did.
if I had to choose between the iPad and the iPhone being invented or Steve Jobs dying, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bye-
If you can
sorry,
jerk
Steve.
off in your work bathroom.
Yes, exactly. But the fact that he's telling this to fucking a voodoo priestess sitting across the room from him is just the irony is
Yes.
like fucking
Yes.
Miss
That's
Haya-
the,
like
yes.
like
Oh, wait a minute.
you think okay let's be real for a second. Do you think while this is conversation going on, you think Fred just wants to hit a button to point out what a fucking ironic shit's going on?
No,
in
he
there?
doesn't care.
No,
Fred's
Fred's
not even paying
asleep.
attention.
Fred's
He's out
just-
smoking
yeah.
cigarettes.
Not too
It's fine.
dissimilar to you with the clips. He's really
Yeah.
not paying attention to what's
So-
going on in the show.
Remember, let's all remember that.
You wouldn't. I'm going
Let's all
back to
remember
Santa
that-
Claus mode.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, please, God, no. Please, God, no. So, we've got to remember.
So then Vixen walks in looking like she always
Oh,
does.
Jesus Christ. God damn.
I went through days of this. This is nothing new.
So let's all remember that Robin also did ayahuasca to help with her cancer.
Oh my God! What
I mean,
hasn't she
seriously.
done?
And she
did-
shit herself, too.
And you know she had a huge bill with that Madame Cleo hotline.
Madam Cleo.
Whoever the hell his name
Dr.
is.
Ronnie.
Dr. Ronnie.
No.
Dr.
I'm
Ronnie.
talking about the real kook that got arrested. You know, like that's her whole MO. Her whole
Oh.
MO is that, you know what? Robin is the smartest person in the universe in her little head.
That's what a
And she
narcissist
thinks-
does.
And no one
Yes.
can ever tell her that something is different. So
I
no
can't
matter
wait
what.
for you guys to read the opening from Vegucation. So let's finish
He
this
eats
clip so
carrots
that we
all
can
the
go to
time. He
it.
gets all kind of powers. So like Bugs Bunny, Steve Jobs, because he's smarter than the
Ooh,
doctor.
Bugs Bunny reference.
Thank you.
Steve
Thank
Jobs
you,
goes
Mike
ahead
Trainer.
and starts. Well, now, when I say he drank carrot juice, this motherfucker drank so much fucking
Motherfucker.
carrot juice, he started turning orange. It's legendary.
Wow, brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Great joke, Benji.
Fred.
Good stuff.
And there was probably no internet for him. Yeah, who knows? He probably called Joe Rogan.
Maybe.
Carrot juice, asshole. Drink
Wow.
carrot juice. That's what we're into over here.
Wow.
Who knows who he called?
Billy West, who did the voice
I
of
don't know
Bugs
what
Bunny.
he called, but somehow he got this in his head. He's going to drink carrot juice.
Why is he still on this?
It's fucking
Because he
crazy.
thinks he's being clever.
Drinking carrot
Yeah.
juice, and this is what
This is the equivalent
Because
of that old
Monique,
lady.
the sociopath, cares about you, but Steve Jobs doesn't.
This is the equivalent of that old lady still saying, "Where's the beef?" until she died.
Exactly.
get into.
Could cure cancer. Don't you think
He
it would have
tortons.
been figured out?
Yeah.
Why would
Oh
people
my
tell
God.
all these other things
The
to
balls
do
on her, right?
if carrot juice
Yeah.
works?
The ball's on her. So
Well,
just
guess
let
what
it keep
Wow.
playing.
Jobs is doing now.
Yeah.
He's
pushing
fertilizing.
up
You're right,
daisies in
Bella.
there.
Pushing up
Yeah.
Daisy. That's right. That's right. That's what the fucking guy's doing right now.
Yeah. See?
All right. I'm pausing it right now because I need
Yes.
you to read this. And so I'm going to put it up. Biggest day on the screen. Now, this is from the opening pages of the Vegucation of Robin. And listen to what a fucking
you read it like Robin?
narcissist she is. Last night!
I underwent a 12-hour surgery for a grapefruit-sized mass, which had taken up residence in my pelvis next to that turkey leg. That meant that for half a day, my insides were pulled out, poked at, rearranged, and put back together again. Not your typical routine procedure, unless you work at a hospital, which they see it every single day. So after all that, do you want to know about what ultimately saved my life?
What?
My health.
Oh, sure.
Sure, the brilliant team of doctors and nurses who cared for me deserve some credit.
Listen
not
to that
all.
sentence. Listen to that sentence.
But
Sure,
if I
the brilliant team of doctors
Cunt.
and nurses who cared for me deserve some credit. Go ahead. Go ahead, Robin.
But if I hadn't decided to, in the past 10 years, to change my life completely, there could have been a very different ending to this story. I would have been struggling to recover in the rehabilitation center instead of going for walks near the shore on my house. Wait, what did happen to that horse, by the way? Did she eat the horse, Blaze? What happened to it?
It died.
My shore house. I would have felt so isolated, maybe even depressed, instead of laughing with the friends and doing the things that make me the happiest. Eating my dead horse. He was delicious. I would have decided by myself to being a patient instead of a person.
That's it. I mean, that's the
What
narcissist.
a complete asshole. Like, serious. They deserve some credit. And I love how she thinks she's the only person that's ever been to a hospital for procedure. They never, like,
never do stuff like that.
Sure they did that like 3 times that day. And it's like, no, it was just me. It was just me.
Yeah, she went on in that book to talk about how she went on to talk about how like the doctors and everybody couldn't believe that after a 12-hour surgery, she was up at 8 a.m. the next day talking and laughing with friends and having the best time. And it was all because she decided to juice and eat clean. And so it wasn't the doctors that saved her. Don't forget, they take some responsibility.
No, child. I was dunking from the free throw line.
No narcissist has the ability to ever feel depressed or isolated.
Nope.
Because your own favorite company is you.
She is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, you remember now, and the other part of that whole thing was that, remember, Howard now has the lie that Robin never missed any days. Oh, there were months where there was no Robin on that show.
That's right.
The fact that we didn't barely notice tells you how important her job is. I mean, she could
no, actually, you did notice then because there was no news, and it was just it would be him and Artie just talking, and no Robin. And Robin was gone for a long, long time.
But general banter, Dennis, would you notice?
Honestly, what was the time? Was it like 2 years or something like that? Where they pretended she wasn't even in the studio. She wasn't.
She was missing for months.
Like
then
a couple of years, right?
And in 2 years, she was out of the studio, and they tried to hide it.
I was out of the studio because I was working on my 40 time. I'm down to a 4.2 40.
I just, I can't wait to get into it with the Vegetation of Robin book story that we're going to do at some point. So,
the obese vegan. Yeah,
remember, she went to France and couldn't find any vegetables. There are none in France.
No, there were no vegetables in France.
No vegetables in France at all. No.
It's like Meatloaf gets her hand-me-downs.
Thank you, person I don't know, Sonelli79.
You must know me. I love you. Your childhood stories are fantastic.
A treasure. A treasure. So I'm going to
Tesoro.
I got
Sammy the Bull Gravano.
I got for what?
I can bench press 200 pounds 40 times now.
What did I do wrong? Did I
don't know. Okay, you're fine now.
Sketchy press. I have never understood the praise that Robin gets. She isn't funny. She isn't all that intelligent. Granted, the Stern Show wouldn't be the same without her, but she's a Big Bang Theory.
She's a racial beard. Let's be honest. Honestly,
exactly.
All she has is a racial beard.
She's talking.
He's the reason he didn't get kicked off the air for all the blackface, for all the Black Jeopardies, for all the other shit he pulled. But you know what I mean.
Wait, so John, what is the MP4 that you send?
Oh well, it's a bon mont. It's just a bon
mont.
I got on Opie's podcast. I didn't get on, but he was fielding questions, and I needed to get a Gunk drop. So he read a kind of an expansive Gunk question, and he shouts you out a little bit here without saying your name. I don't know if you want to.
How nice of him.
It's about.
Wait, this is not. Opie's not the one that's dating the 12-year-old, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. We have Megan's laws that we have to adhere to on Radio Gunk. What is it about 500 yards that you don't understand?
Okay, so
He is rollerblading.
Here's a little
Jet.
Gunk mention vis-a-vis Arm, I guess, calling into Opie's show. By
Now
the
let me just preface this. I asked, I really was I wanted to get the Howard's granddaughter thing, so I kept just firing questions, and whenever he picked up, and there's like 6 to 8 questions, I just kept over and over again, and he picked up on that finally, which this is just one of many.
All right, well, I am here.
Radio Gunk. I know the Radio Gunk people a little bit. Wants to know the SiriusXM executive blowback from your brilliant Donnie Brasco infiltration of Howard's studio. Did that really lead to your firing? Howard is a silent executive partner. Ooh. If you're not afraid of, well, I believe, look, I'm an idiot.
Yes.
I always knew I was an idiot. I always knew that I took too many chances. I'm one to burn bridges very, very quickly. That's more of my past than my current situation. I was really pushing the limits with the whole Howard Stern thing at SiriusXM. I was really starting to bother the guy. I don't know why, to be honest with you, but it started with them shutting the hallways down because I said hi to him in the hallway. He couldn't take that. So then they had a whole thing set up. Everyone knows this story, but they basically wouldn't let anyone into the area until Howard got in.
So I just want to let you know that this is on the Upper West Side because that's where the sun is setting.
West Side.
And so these are two Trump buildings right here.
Oh, wow.
The gold ones, right?
And then over here, right, this big spire right here, if you see my mouse, that's on 57th Street. And then this building is literally right next door to mine. So I'm like right there.
Quick question.
Oh, nice.
Go.
Mo,
Yeah.
do you think the Duck Dynasty guys mock his fashion sense?
I think they do, yes.
I forgot about that.
Into his special his safe compound. And then I'm obviously yelling through the glass, "Good morning," as he's walking through. Everyone knows that story as
It's his
I'm
best
waiting to
moment,
go into work.
honestly.
It is.
And then I had the opportunity to, walk through the doors into his compound because a cleaning lady believed me when I said, "Hey, leave that. Can you open that door? I left something in there." And she used her pass key or whatever. The door opened up, and my goal was to sit in Howard's seat.
Why is he yelling?
And then the security guards came a running. And to this day, I regret not continuing because I knew at that point I was in deep trouble because, Howard is a very sensitive baby. And he went to the bosses and they were not happy with me. And I know they were getting a face full of shit from Howard. So what the executives do, they can't talk back to Howard because Howard is the whole company, especially back then. So if Howard is yelling and screaming in your face, this fucking Opie, you gotta do something about this motherfucker. Then the bosses are going to yell and scream at me because they can't yell back to Howard. What they should have said to Howard is like, look, this is all make-believe. This is all ridiculous what we do for a living. Why don't you take a chill pill and relax? But they would never, ever talk back to Howard. So then then at that point, I was on the clock. They were trying to figure out how they could get rid of me, and then they tried to get rid of me for a lame-ass thing that I'd rather not talk about because we left in good standings. And when they pulled that garbage, I said, hell nah, I ain't going down that way.
So what's on the second Opie clip?
Nothing. It's just a
There's more?
Howard mocked his this brother Weeze's disabled girl, and it sent him into a tizzy. He had a disabled daughter, and Howard regularly mocked her. The R word and retard this and retard that, and it sent Opie into a tizzy. That's kind of what set him on the path to go after Howard when he got the chance. Your
live stream, I'll tell that whole story again. I always wanted to know that Brother Weeze versus Howard Stern story where Howard goofed on his special needs daughter. Never got the full story. It's one of the reasons why I obsessed about Howard for so long, because I know what that did to Weeze. And Weeze was everything to me and continues to be everything to me.
Nice focus.
I always put in the back of my head, man, I was cocky because I was a nobody
He's especially amped up, they said in the chat. He's very manic. He's trying to do sort of a manic thing, and he's trying to amplify himself in almost in a disingenuous way where he's not speaking regularly. His chat kills him for it. But
where we start, Johnny has a new podcast that he's doing with Sarah. It's called The Deepening.
Wino Forever, The Deepening. Yeah.
Forever The Deepening. What channel is that on?
It's on the Deepening channel.
The Deepening channel, come on.
The Deepening Wino Forever on YouTube. The next episode, we believe, is going to be delved. It's got to be a part 1. Anybody who wants to participate in this, Xavier, you might know, we're going to go into the Viper Room, in-depth history of buying it and the weird, shady stuff.
The Viper Room. The Viper Room is extremely small. The stage is small, which is, I think it's the appeal.
Yeah, right. So who was it? Katie Aldana, Viper. River Phoenix popularized it. So River Phoenix died on Halloween of, I think, 93. And that gave it this weird, infamous, strange, macabre, fucking morbid cool factor that you're going to go there and Joaquin's going to die next time.
River Phoenix couldn't hang with Mr. Whiskers.
But it's such I feel like, and I said this to, it is, Stuttering John played there, Monique.
Thank
in the
you.
late
What?
90s. Yeah. He somehow that.
Yeah, but it's listen. They have kind of like a amateur hour like on Wednesdays and shit. So it's like it's always popping. So if he actually was there, like I guarantee you he was there like on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, I'll tell you one thing: King Norris wouldn't get
King Norris. You mean that chick from the Golden Girls?
One last thing: I always thought the Viper Room needed like a Netflix docu-series. It's not enough a half hour. I mean, there's so much going on there. If not a live action portrayal on I just would love, if I could fund something, that would be the thing. I think there's so much there. I really do.
Yeah, well. And the thing at the entrance is like not even off the strip. You have to go around the side.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's the whole.
It's almost like a speakeasy type of situation.
It gives it that little air.
If it's scheduled to be torn down, seriously, I think you have a great idea, John.
I honestly, I don't even know why I'm the only one thinking of it. Like, I would have thought by now it would have been done to death and we'd be sick of it. It's just got all...
Like, CBGB's is better, and that's long gone.
CBGB's is definitely more historic, I think, as far as a West Coast thing goes. The celebrity factor with the Viper Room, I think, brings together all this shit. But they wouldn't let... See, this is what I hate. Because it came out at a time when there was no cell phones. No cell phone cameras, so you could have gotten so much shit if people could have snuck their smartphones in there, and you don't have that element, some of these old stuff.
No, this is true.
Pre-technology. So I was thinking, I don't know if Mr. Whiskers wants to sing it, because I'd be happy to sing it. I was thinking because of Emily Ratajkowski and her almost... Yeah, that's exactly right. I wanted to sing the theme song to Growing Pains.
Oh my God.
This is DiCaprio, right? Growing Pains star Leonardo DiCaprio. My favorite thing he did after Gilbert Grape. So I don't know if you want to sing it, X, if Mr. Whiskers wants to sing it, or...
You'd have a better chance of me singing Life Goes On with that dancer little kid than that one.
Okay. Show me that smile, show me that smile. Don't waste another minute on your crying. We're going near. Come on, G Canada. We're going near. The best is yet to begin. As long as we got each other, we got the world spinning right in our hands. G Canada, you and me, we gotta be the luckiest people. Nothing we're dreaming. As long as we keep on living, we can take anything that comes our way. Baby, rain or shine, all the time. We got each other, sharing the laughter. Yes, Andrew, it's from Corvette Summer with Mark Hamill.
Corvette Summer. God, that was such a great movie.
All right, guys. Thank you for sharing your night with us, and thank you for spending 2 hours on literally 6 clips. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any discussion at radiogunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Radio Gunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so that you know when we're going to have a new show. Thanks.